If Dallas Cowboys running back Deuce Vaughn didn't know where his team's head was at concerning his future, this offseason should have made it very clear to him. That message? Without a stunning turn of events at training camp by Vaughn, and probably a rash of injuries to other running backs, his time with the Cowboys might be coming to an end after 2 underperforming seasons. The Dallas Morning News singled Vaughn out after minicamp as a player who doesn't seem to have a fit with the Cowboys in 2025 and is likely down to his last chance with the franchise. Vaughn is fighting to get on the field, Demen's Calvin Watkins wrote on June 16th. Vaughn, if you remember, was the feel-good story of the 2023 draft when picked in the 6th round out of Kansas State. He's played in 14 games since. His father is Chris Vaughn, the Cowboys' assistant director of college scouting. You can debate whether the Cowboys did this as a favor to Chris, but Deuce hasn't been given an easy road to earn roster spots. He's also understanding of the critiques of that. In some ways, you can compare it to Bronny James, LeBron James' son, whom the Lakers drafted in the 2nd round last year. Bronny comparison doesn't really make sense. The Bronny comparison is pretty harsh and doesn't really make sense. Comparing the assistant director of scouting for the Cowboys to LeBron James isn't apples to apples. Chris Vaughn is a well-respected person in the job he does, but he doesn't even have final say over who the Cowboys pick in the draft. Throughout almost all of his 22 seasons in the NBA, LeBron James has had almost complete control of every roster decision, draft pick, and head coaching hire on every team he's played on. That includes picking his oldest son in the 2024 NBA draft after he averaged 4.8 points as a freshman for USC. Vaughn starred at Kansas State, struggled in NFL. Vaughn was one of the nation's most dynamic and best running backs for Kansas State from 2020 to 2022. In 3 seasons, Vaughn put up 4,854 yards of total offense and 43 total touchdowns, including 3,640 rushing yards. The Cowboys drafted Vaughn in the 6th round, number 211 overall, despite some red flags in the scouting process. That includes his size at 5'5" and 179 pounds, and a less-than-stellar 40-yard dash time of 4.56 seconds. Through his first 2 seasons, Vaughn has just 40 carries for 110 yards and no touchdowns. In the last few months, the Cowboys have brought in 3 new running backs. Dallas signed Javonte Williams to a 1-year, $3 million free agent contract. They also drafted 2 running backs in the 2025 NFL Draft, although in the later rounds, with 5th-round pick Jaden Blue, number 149 overall, and 7th-round pick, number 239 overall, Phil Maffa. NFL.com's Chad Reuter put Blue at number 1 on his list of day 3 picks who could compete for starter snaps in 2025. The Cowboys might begin the year with starting reps going to veteran back Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, but Blue should have a chance to be the guy for the blue and silver by midseason, Reuter wrote on May 5th. The Texas product's home run hitting ability as a runner and receiver makes it imperative that he's on the field. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott gets some positive news in a new prediction on where the team is heading this season. The Dallas Cowboys are heading into a very important season, and one that fans hopes turns the franchise around. The Cowboys are America's team, so it's unacceptable for them to have anything short of a stellar season. Now, the team is under new head coach Brian Schottenheimer, who was hired in January after the team parted ways with Mike McCarthy. Going into the 2025 season, having Dak Prescott healthy again could be the difference maker for the team. He was out for a good chunk of the last season, so whenever a team loses their franchise quarterback, it stings. Now, heading into the 2025 season, one NFL expert is looking at what the Dallas Cowboys have going for them this year, and Prescott is a big part of that. Dak Prescott could be the saving grace of the Dallas Cowboys. In a feature for Bleacher Report published on June 16th, Alex Ballentine lays out the best and worst-case scenarios for each team in the NFL heading into the new season. In the story, he notes that it's an offensive league and every front office goes into the offseason with a vision for how it will improve the unit for the next season. He adds to just look at how much money and resources teams are willing to pour into finding a quarterback, building an offensive line, and retaining a star receiver. Of course, these are just projections, so take them for what they are, some fun predictions and observations. But it's also a helpful tool to brace for some possibilities in the season. So, what's the best-case scenario for the Cowboys? Prescott could have a comeback season. In the piece, Ballantyne notes that even before the injury, Prescott had a rough season with a career-low 45.3 QBR in the 8 games he played with 11 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. But on the positive side, the Cowboys have added to their offense, and now Prescott has the kind of guys around him that should help him have a successful run. If it all comes together, Prescott should return to form and the Cowboys will have one of the most dangerous offenses in the league, Ballantyne notes. That's so true. The troubling side of the Dallas Cowboys. So, what's the absolute worst-case scenario for the Dallas Cowboys? Ballantyne says the team's young offensive line could get the best of them. A lot of attention is going to shift toward George Pickens, but it's the offensive line that will determine the ceiling for the Cowboys, he states in the piece. The group up front used to be one of the best in the league, but Zach Martin's retirement is just the latest shift away from that old group. He adds, it's hard to see this being a good offense if the young offensive line doesn't take the next step. They have to clear run lanes for the revamped backfield and give Prescott time to find Pickens deep. If they can't do that, there's going to be a lot of frustration in Dallas. Dallas Cowboys defensive end Micah Parsons has spoken out about ongoing contract discussions with the team and said the franchise is costing itself money by waiting to make a deal. As previously reported by the Dallas Express, Parsons is expected to sign a contract with the Cowboys that will make him the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history, with the belief that he will earn an average of over $40 million per year. Parsons recently discussed these negotiations and said, it's going to cost them more when asked about the Cowboys' willingness to wait for an agreement, according to Sports Illustrated. The four-time Pro Bowler was likely referencing the 2 other top defensive linemen waiting for a contract, with the expectation that Parsons will receive significantly more than each of those players. Currently, the Cincinnati Bengals are discussing an extension with Trey Hendrickson, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are negotiating a contract with T.J. Watt. Hendrickson is estimated to sign a contract with an average annual salary worth $35 million, which will be the complete floor for a contract that Parsons will receive from the Cowboys. Realistically, Parsons will receive a contract similar to Watt's eventual deal, with the Cowboys believed to pay slightly more than the Steelers. Watt has proven to be amongst the NFL elite on the defensive line, leading the NFL in sacks for 2 of the last 4 seasons. Pittsburgh is likely to sign Watt to an extension that pays him just over $40 million per season. This would make him the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history for a short time. Following this extension, Parsons will likely sign a contract with the Cowboys worth slightly more than Watt's, giving him the largest salary in NFL defensive history. By foregoing contract extension discussions, the Cowboys are literally costing themselves millions of dollars every season by allowing other teams to sign extensions earlier. Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones has not been fazed by this realization. Earlier in the offseason, he claimed that he would rather wait and sign the deal. Some say using the basis that the earlier you get something done, the cheaper. Well, the earlier you get something done, a lot of times the more mistakes you make. You might want to see a few more cards play, not just with that particular negotiation, but with the whole team, explained Jones in April, as previously reported by the Dallas Express. Despite the difficulty with signing this extension, Parsons said earlier in OTAs that he is confident a deal will be agreed upon before training camp in July. I'm pretty hopeful. I'm still hanging tight, Parsons said per the NFL. I understand it's up to owner Jerry Jones. He gives the green light on everything, so hopefully something is done by next month.